Got a little centipedes off here. All the bugs and junk. Something I always use a lot to do in general, because you know the way that people market self-defense of more striking than using grappling and understanding read on stuff like let's start over. Situational awareness, understand decent stance, being able to slip, move, parry, read punches, be aware of your environment around you, being able to keep a good stance. The pops are not going to take it down, and grab it to do to take it down. And more restraining people, it's always marketed with striking, which I'm not at all completely against. So I had a boxer I was showing a punch one time. I was like, why don't you fully extend? Because I like to see where this is my middle finger. From here, I overstretch, and just my middle fingers touch it. That's the normal position distance between you and the average person, most likely, will be in a small area, even an open area where you're around other people, within arm's length distance. Okay? And if I make a fist right here, you can see it's not touching this. All I gotta do is bring my shoulder up a little bit, or just twist my hip a little bit. Okay? Let's say from right there, shoulder width. So if I was to turn my shoulder this way, hand would be right here. Boom, this is where both my back feet should be. Drop my weight a little bit. On balls of the feet, pretty much. Chin down, side right here, a little somewhere with the shoulder. Other hand up, line with the eyebrow, pretty much. I can either use this to parry stuff. I can hit with it, obviously. I can use it to pretty much maybe just like shield up with it. I can bring it up and bring both in. I can bring it up and kind of do something kind of like this, pretty much. So I can come in with it. I could do kind of like a arm swing out thrust to go for kind of like a frame afterwards. Just different stuff, okay? I don't like being perfectly square. I don't like being perfectly sideways. Somewhere in the middle, okay? If I can keep me in a way where I'm able good enough to go away from the power side in a second, where I'm offline away from this, where I can go back and come in at a different angle, that's fine. Somewhere in the middle, I have the ability of moving offline, thinking combat wise, whether it be this way, that way, or this way. Maybe I'm right here and I just want to move over here. I do just enough off this way. But you don't get every action time to be perfect in situations. So at the most, I'd advise the thing of focusing more on the stance, more so than the extension first. Okay? I'm not at all against the whole thing. Like as I was saying, a lot of wing chums dropping a lot of cries wrong, thinking of immediately getting some whatever low stance to parry, hit, whatever type deal, etc., etc. But I think the stance and keeping this right here guard and protected is more important than we think. But even doing a thing where you're moving back and getting into whatever type of stance, bringing your hands up, that's still a lot more time than just simply hitting or just whatever, pretty much. And like I said, right here, boom, it's not going to be perfect, which is why I actually like the low style karate one. It's a little more odd in this one, and probably this close, it's actually better for lower spots. We had 3 knuckle because it's still hard for me to get that. I need about this much for that right there. A little bit of hip at the end. Kind of want to do a 1-inch punch with my body, the nail and hammer concept I have. But just start here just with the arm. It's more likely than turning. I'd have to be right here to fully get the thing in where it's like pretty much. To land in it properly. Boom. So that's why I invented a thing where it's more kind of like diagonal. I still have problems hitting both these perfectly, especially with how big my knuckle, even my bending down. It's still more middle knuckle than anything. I don't focus a little bit of either that, or I literally would have to not rotate as much. Actually, the more I rotate, the more it's like this. I'd have to go just tiny bit of rotation. And now I felt both. But to me personally, I still with my fingers of that. I like hitting more with just more on the middle knuckle than the side knuckle. Because that's one that is no matter which side it's on, where this side or that side, middle knuckle always goes directly up the arm overall. So diagonal fist is fine, pretty much. But still landing more like you're trying to do horizontal, not perfect diagonal. Because if you do the right here, this style where it's like start making sure you're hitting not flat-handed. But the more you go down, the harder this is. Like right here, right there's okay. Pretty much, boom, somewhere between here and there. The more you go down here, puts more tension on you. The more you go up here, hit more with your fingers. So that's why I say like right there. If you want to have a little bit of slight bend, even for that one, make sure it's already in that position. That's fine. Shane Faison does it. If you want to have a slight little bend for that one, just make sure it's already straight. You can feel both of them hit. You ain't got to hit at full power, whatever. Speed with power added onto it, I prefer than trying to do a little bit of both at the same time, or just do a powerful shot. The speed of whipping is going to create that power. That right there, it's going to create it. Especially going from down low coming up with either that motion or that motion, whatever. A lovely trick I've found. Help make sure it gets in tight, have it somewhat right here loose to that, so you already can compress easier either way before it. But let's say you don't care about none of that. Let's say you're too much focused on pretty much, whatever. I would say one hand needs to come up. You'd have to train this a long time. One foot goes back. Not necessarily that low, but go back where you're actually dropping your weight. Boom. And at first it will put more in the front, but instead of just taking a step, because now, let me show you with this side, for example. Instead of taking a step, I have took all my weight. I'm kind of letting naturally the way we walk. Most time we let ourselves fall. at this angle, instead of actually controlling each individual leg, which I try to do more over time, walking through wilderness and stuff, picking up your feet, stepping over, doing martial arts, help change the way I walk. My walks are messed up already because my toes point out where my knees point inward. But yeah, something pretty much. I don't want to do something where it comes up way like this. I want to go where naturally, the quickest way possible to cover is pretty much to shield this position right here and protect myself to where I'm in hopefully a better position. And if I'm already being pushed back and I can't get whatever just to get out of the way, what happens after? There's no guarantee with anything. But yeah, I did a video a while back where I talked about sometimes I miss practice stuff where I got naturally more structure. But with side kick has to be like full extent, man. Otherwise it ain't a side kick. You gotta bend your foot in this weird position, man. Stephen Womboy Thompson showed her a day ago a video we watched him do this in camp when he does his side kick style with people in his stance, where he'll chamber it up this way. Pretty much, kind of more like he's trying to do a back kick from the side kick position. Just like with your arms, the closer it is to you, the more structure and power you have. Further out you go, at some point you lose that power. I mean, yeah, it's good, cool and all to do some sort of type of into air, type of everything looks cool. It looks cool, pretty much. Looks cool. But I'm not a big fan of like the front kick. Harder to get knocked back between the two. The end kick can get knocked back on. I don't do the whole straight up just snap anymore. I don't. I do where I bring up, knee, snap. But instead with the ball on my foot, I like to go past and hit with my heel at the end. Like I'm driving forward, I'm pushing with my hips. I got one foot back. Bent in the ground towards that. Two opposite ways somewhat. I'm not straight. I'm pushing back into the ground. I'm pushing to this. I'm not saying, oh, this is the perfect kick and they're getting knocked back on. Of course you can get knocked back with doing kicks. Okay? And I prefer the more lower boom with the boots here, folding the toes up and curling back like that. Or real close, jarring style. Real hard kicks, whole entire foot, middle of the foot, heel of the foot, whatever. I don't mind the flash boom stuff. I don't mind it. I still do it. Boom. It's cool. But the way I'm falling Wing Chun more in love with it is concepts and principles of actual reality right here. Except the whole staying, center line, defending, all this stuff. Just to then move out of the way, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of leaving this right here open. I'm not a big fan of all weight back here, just in this thing right here. That knee bent out. But other stuff, I love the video I did where I mixed up kind of like a little bit more Bruce Lee style stance. Kind of similar to my karate one, said even weight distributed this time. Got right here. Slip, parry. Imagine a punch, slip, parry to come in, maybe. Or just slip, boom. Same thing with this one. Slip, boom. Slip, slip, slip. And having to have that ability to do it, pretty much. Where it's still like I'm in this. But I'm kind of transforming it way to maybe slip, lip, boom. Especially for close range. I think looking more into boxing helps a lot of these styles out. Where they're too much stuck on the parry at first and then hidden. or they're just constant forward and back, staying straight, instead of thinking about being offline and everything. And too much thinking about striking, and not thinking about possibly get taken down. MMA aspect kind of mixing the two, or cross training wise. It needs to be thought. So either a more lower stance, ready to possibly do stuff, or a more lower stance. I can put this back here instead of more right here. Easily just slight little difference. Boom. Slight little difference, make it go. That's the only difference right there. Now I fall more right here, more is back here. Here, more back here. Position to my hips, but also going to be a giveaway for people with their experience actual combat wise. But just for simple self-defense, whatever martial art do, sticking to boxing concepts and principles with a little bit mixture of grappling and wrestling, probably the best one. Even they say Bruce Lee himself said it. I like kicks, all that. Muay Thai mixed in with Izzo style Wing Chun, I think would be the most superior if you had some wrestling to back it up. Understand them Muay Thai concepts or BJJ. This is what I just feel comfortable more for me. That ensures more checks on my list to where I have something to react with. I won't get took down hopefully as easily. I still have the ability of understand my structure, how to frame, keep good footwork, good balance, and strike if I need to at a close range. Well, you're long. You're supposed to use your long range. If I have the ability to, I'll use it. There's no guarantee in a thing. But if I can restrain somebody without hurting them, I'd love to. It's not all about hitting. But BJJ is not an number one martial art either. Pretty much. It's more evidence is kind of showing Lee in terms his ideal concept of his Wing Chun and how he uses it for him and the Muay Thai style. Especially the evidence given from the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship on YouTube, as Icy might put it, them $5 small spaces. Weapon-wise, if you can, keep your distance. Keep your distance. I don't think Nick Gross has thing that's terrible. The idea of trying to strike and do different stuff to deter them instead of these big, powerful swings that might take somebody out, might not. It's harder to put power to someone you're moving and standing still. It's easier with quick, snappy, fast stuff that you got down good. Or maybe it could be a distraction so you can move around. But there's still no guarantee. I hate when they say in knife defense, you're going to get cut. I did not want anybody to ever try to put a knife on me because I don't need that in my life. As you can tell, I love martial arts. I love self-defense. And I'm still trying to work better for me. What makes more sense for me internally to practice and train on my own as well at the moment to ensure my own safety, both physical wise and legal wise. I don't want me thinking the old 9-inch karate style, all these different multiple bunch of hits, and the next moment I go to jail for beating somebody up. And who knows, most people you mostly might could, just some simple basic understanding, head movement, footwork, structure, alignment, all that, just outmaneuver them or just restrain them easily. Especially if you also have some strength to you and you're not just all fancy, flashy speed, and you understand some structure, to use your body and work around. But that's a guarantee. If somebody hits me out of the middle of nowhere like a freight train with a punch, I might get knocked out. I might be dazed. There's no guarantee. But I think both the self-defense community and the combat community should come together and see where the bullcrap lies and truth lies. Over time, I keep on going through YouTube channel to find people that more agree with what I believe is more reality. I've been through many channels of what I once thought was reality, but I see more actual videos of actual reality to find something, but I'm still not trying to make it into an intentional system or nothing. I'm not trying to set us off as that, but it easily could be made. But once something gets systemized, no matter how good it once was, it becomes quite unrealistic. Like how a lot of people view Krav Maga today, or karate, or Jeet Kune Do, or Wing Chun, or any of them other in the middle martial arts have the potential to be better, but they're not. Because they have all the moves and everything else in that martial art, but they lack the composure to train their combat sport and the good thinking of real, true, realistic self-defense, which I myself am still working on. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy these videos, and I'll see you folks around.